Hello and welcome to Ink Heaven. This is Darla Olson helping you to create stamping happiness for yourself and your loved ones. I have a fun Valentine project for you that I recently shared in a Facebook Live. Enjoy!
This is just a little, like a little gift box. And I hadn't fully developed the idea yet. But what I was thinking is that I'd end up cutting a heart out of like maybe the Whisper White cardstock and running it through the, oh gosh, what's the name of that folder? This folder here, the corrugated dynamic folder, so that I could have a kind of a little cover in here. But anyway, I would make some little I like to make those little Oreo truffle or truffle candies, and I would put those in here and then cover it with the Whisper or the very vanilla cardstock that's been corrugated and put the lid on. And I'll probably make these for the people that I work with at the acupuncture clinic. So anyway, just a fun little Valentine's Day gift. And so it's really easy. We're just going to take a soft suede, the soft suede classic ink pad. If I can get my ink pad open, it's really easy. There we go. That might have been the hardest part. And a stamping sponge. And then we're just going to brush the ink on the box. And you can find these things like at Walmart, and I think Amazon has them too. Only you might have to get more than you want at Amazon. You probably can find them at Hobby Lobby, Michael's. I'm sure you can find them in quite a few different places. But anyway, just by rubbing this soft suede ink on it, it gives it kind of a tea-stained look, which is kind of vintage and cool. And we'll take the lid off and kind of do the rest of the heart here. But these little things like boxes like this are pretty inexpensive. There we go. That looks pretty good. Pretty tea-stained, don't you think? And then it's also a magic box because it has pre-cut things in it. So we're going to take out the pre-cut lace trim. We're going to take out the pre-cut hearts. So this heart is this one here. It's the medium-sized scalloped edge heart, and the medium-sized scalloped edge heart also cuts out a heart from the center, so you end up with two hearts. And I cut this out in very vanilla, and then I actually put it in the lace dynamic folder. Makeup sponges would work fine, I think, Carla. And so I put this in here, and you can just kind of line it up so the heart really kind of fits on one of these little fits nicely in these curves that it's in the design, the lace design that's on the folder. And I just did that, closed the folder, and ran it through the Big Shot. So that gave me this pretty lace design on the heart. And then I just I didn't sponge the outside of the heart. This part here, the scalloped part, I don't know if you can see that on this box, but I did sponge the heart that I embossed with the lace folder, just to make that design pop up out of the heart. So we have this here, and then we'll just go ahead and, oops, we missed one of our things that was magically hidden in our box. I have a little pearl there, and we're just going to take You could glue this if you want. For this heart, I'm not going to glue it. I'm just going to use the snail. And I'll put this here. Well, I might have to glue it. It doesn't seem to want to stick. Maybe I did glue the other one. Or maybe I used glue dots. No, because that would have made it lumpy. I don't remember what I did now. Too much time has passed. I can't remember today. Well, we're going to use glue dots just to make it stay, okay? But probably I'm going to say glue is going to be your best bet since I'm finding that it's not sticking with the snail. And I don't remember what I did when I did it. Anybody else have that memory problem, or is it just me that's getting old? Okay. Oh, I might have used glue dots. That's sticking pretty good. Okay. So we have our heart there, and then I'm definitely going to use glue around this little frame because it's too hard to do pretty much of anything else unless you're going to use those Sizzix adhesive sheets, and that might be a good option. And I'm trying to do that without getting a big glob on there. Oh no, my glue dots didn't stick either. Well, my goodness, I must have used glue. Well, you'll get the idea. And I'm not getting glue to come out of here. Well, let's just do this. Since I'm nervous about getting too much glue. And maybe my thing is just stuck. Well, it's not cooperating for me tonight. And I just used this glue earlier. So I know it's got to be okay. I got to see if I can find something sharp. I know I have some. There we go. Let's try this. I might have gotten the tip, some stuff dried in the tip, and it just won't come out. There we go. That felt like I got some glue there. We'll tap it a little bit. Maybe I'm just going to have to open up a new one. Nope. Oh, there it is. Big glob of it. Okay, so this heart has all kinds of adhesive. And it probably still won't stick. Oh, that's funny. Okay, it's funny and it's not. All right, so we're gonna try this heart stick thing one more time. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna need all kinds of love right here, you guys. Okay, so here we go. I don't like to get too much on there because then it gets all over on the project where you don't want it. There we go. So there we have the outside of our heart. And I better wipe this off. Thank you for the love. Okay, so we have that, and then we'll take our little pearl and slide that off of here and put that in the center of the little flower that's in the middle of the heart. And then for the ribbon, or for the lace trim, I should say, I actually used a staple. It shows a little bit, but it's not real, like, glaringly obvious. It was really the easiest way to get the lace trim to stick into that little part of the heart. So I just took and Stampin' Up, I don't think they sell this stapler anymore, but you can get a long reach, any long reach stapler will do that can get you down into the little curve of the top of the heart here. It doesn't have to be a Stampin' Up stapler, of course. And then I just tied a bow. So I make my little rabbit ears. Now that I'm doing this, I'm like, okay, I might have to just do this a different way because it's not feeling like it's working. So I know I usually do the rabbit ears, but it's feeling awkward. So we are going to do it this way. But I just tied a bow on the side of it. And then just take that and, you know, make the bow, tighten it up, and make it the size you want it to be. And sometimes I get it nice and small and then just come back and ease it out to the size that I want. Because I don't like them to be too awfully big. And you'll have to work it a little bit. There we go. That's looking pretty cute right there. So I kind of like that size right there. So I'll grab my scissors. You haven't tackled the the rabbit ear bows. They're pretty easy, but for some reason on the side of this box it was just feeling awkward, so it didn't seem like the right thing to do. And I can't remember if I did. It's just most of the time I do rabbit ear bows, so I just made the assumption that I did. And I've been getting ready for this for several weeks, you know, now. Like, you know, I started like, I don't even remember when I started. Probably right after Christmas. So I've been working on it for a little while. I'm going to trim this down just a little bit more. I just don't want them hanging down too far past the edge of the box. There we go. All right, so we have our bow there. Now, if you want to and you don't want that bow to move around too much, you can take a glue dot and just pull it off of there and just stick it behind the knot. And that will hold it there so it won't move. And then you have your little gift box with a pretty little bow on the side. So I have two of them now. There we go. So the bow on that one's a little bit more big and floppy. I like it a little bit more petite, I think. Okay, so that's the little box, which looked a lot harder than it really was. Your fingers foul it all up. Okay, so the card actually kind of matches the box, other than we've pulled in some powder pink cardstock, which actually you could, if you wanted to, pull in powder pink and put powder pink edge around the outside of the heart. I didn't do that because then, obviously I'd have been using more cardstock, and I didn't want to go that route. So I kind of didn't do that. So on this one, we have crumb cake cardstock, and we're using the large scalloped heart. And so when I put this through the Big Shot, I put the large scallop heart here, and then I took this frilly heart and I just put it right there, because when you cut out this heart, again, you get two pieces. You get this center heart here that comes out of this big scalloped heart. So you end up with two hearts when you use the scallop heart. And so I'm going to leave this here. I have a little bit of a delay when I'm looking, so I can't see what you're seeing unless I wait. So, but you can see there that I have those. This is the large scalloped heart, the outside and the inside. Medium scalloped heart, outside, inside. And then this is the small scalloped heart. And the small scalloped heart does not cut out the inside. It just gives you the stitching. So that one, of the scalloped hearts, that one is slightly different. Did everybody get a chance to watch the video in the email? So anyway, that kind of saved me then. I just used the same heart. I didn't have to cut more cardstock or anything like that. So I have my frilly heart here, and I did, oops, I'm trying to put that heart in the wrong place. I did do this on the adhesive, and I don't know how well that will stick. I think I've had it for a while, so mine's not even the same size anymore. They used to sell it 12 by 12, and now it actually comes, I think, 6 by 12, so it's a little easier to handle. But I'm trying to use up my 12 by 12 sheets. But we're kind of going to do the same thing. The card kind of is the same. We just take our sponge, and we're just going to bring some highlights to that lace embossed folder that we put on here, and kind of give it that tea-stained kind of vintage look by just sponging the color on there to pop up those that design so that it shows up a little better. And then I actually kind of did come along just along the edges a little bit and just kind of darken those up a little bit so it pop up a little bit more. Now, when I do these cards tonight, just during the video, I am just doing, and I'm probably running late since I had so much trouble with the box. I'm just doing the card front, and I will put them on a card base later to save time tonight during the party. Yes, aren't they beautiful? I love these dies. When I saw them, I thought, more heart dies. We just had a whole bunch of heart dies. That was my initial reaction. How you kind of have your knee-jerk reactions to things. So I'm going to take now, when I put this in the folder, I just kind of tried to put both pieces. I didn't run them through at the same time, but I tried to line them up in the same spot. And then that way, when you put it together, you can get the flow of the pattern across both cardstocks. I'm pretty sure this one sticks with the snail. If not, I'm going to throw my hands up and say, I give uncle. All right, here we go. And it's going to stick now because I didn't get it where I wanted it. So I have the very vanilla trim, just like an eighth of an inch, or not even an eighth, like a 16th of an inch smaller than the crumb cake. It'll come to me. Give me time. So that I can kind of get it on there without it, the edges of it showing. And then that's just placed on the powder pink. And then we have our pretty frilly heart. And hopefully, I think the one that I made here, I just used glue. We'll see if this, the Big Shot thingamajiggy works. The Sizzix Big Shot adhesive. That's what I'm looking for terminology. Okay. Poke out a few of these little pieces that didn't come off. Yes, isn't that folder just gorgeous? And it is very Victorian, kind of Victorian vintage. And I do love that look. I don't know. I kind of go in, I don't know. I go in, like, I call it a rut. So it's like I do one kind or one style for a while because I get in a kick or in a groove. You love the little roses too and the contrasting heart. And M says it's pretty. Okay, so here we have our heart on there now, and that seemed to stick okay. And let's do a rabbit ear this time. Okay, so I cut this big enough so it would be easy enough for me to do. So I have my 2 rabbit ears. I'm going to cross them over. And then the one ear's going to get tucked all the way around. And then that tail's just going to flip. And that gives me my bow. And then I just take and tighten it up. And I did cut it fairly large. Once you get kind of used to doing these bows with the rabbit ears, you can get pretty frugal. Do you like my word? Instead of cheap, it's frugal. With the ribbon and not cut quite as big of a piece. And then I think I still want it just a tad more petite. And then we're just going to pick up a glue dot with the knot right there. And we're going to put that alongside. So this card doesn't even have any sentiments or anything on the front. So on the inside, you can kind of do whatever you want. And the fact that it really doesn't have any sentiments and it's got kind of a Victorian look, you can either make it very romantic or just for a friend. It's pretty generic. So, and it matches the box, which I thought was kind of fun.